Mic's working. Okay. It's Sunday. I meant to stream on Thursday, but was not in the state to do it. I don't think I can describe it as. But yeah, I'm going to get a little bit of building on. I've got a Redemptor Dreadnought from the last of the comp. This is Imperium. The Imperium magazine. I got the last batch the other day, so got the last few bits of the. There's plenty to build, to be honest. I've got a box. Actually, technically 2 boxes full of stuff to build. These start splitting them up into the binders. A lot of the rules in it are now going obsolete as of the 24th of this month when 10th edition comes in, but I never bought it for the rules or teaching you how to play. Bought it mainly for the miniatures, so it's a cheap way to get extra minis for 2 armories. Armories I've got already. Thank you for the follow, Wolf Grunt. Hope you're having a good Sunday. Hope you're well, whatever time zone you're in. So yeah, Warhammer 40k goes in 10th edition and 24th of June, so a lot of the rules in my Imperial magazines go defunct. But as I say, never got it for that reason, to be honest. I got it for extra minis. And to be honest, the lore snippets in there are sometimes obscure bits I never knew existed, or from books I've not read or had not planned to read, because the general premise of the book didn't appeal to me. Because I do like Warhammer 40k, I like most stories that come out of it, but some of them are like, yeah, I don't like the read of this, so I'm not going to read it. Or end up giving up reading it and just throwing the book in the pile, type thing. So, yeah, it's one of those things. Not every aspect of Warhammer 40k entices me, like stories of chaos and that. I'm not really interested in chaos. Orcs as well. Orcs are alright story wise because, to be honest, they're the boys and they're just out to, in essence, have fun, blow things up, and hit things. And to be honest, those stories can be good. Sometimes they're bad, sometimes they're in the middle. Yeah. Uh, but yeah, today is a hot day as well. It's, I think, what the temperature gauge say now? Yeah, 26 degrees C. Earlier on today it was 25. It's just a hot day today. I wish it would actually rain like it said it was going to, because it might kill some of the heat. But yeah, it seems it's not going to. Well, that's me waffling. Let's get on with the joys that are building things. So I'm just going to switch over to the old desk because that's where all that stuff happens. And I need to press the button. Pardon. Now, if by chance you hear an echo, let me know. I think I've eliminated the echo that I was having. But if it comes back, let me know. Because it seems using the way OBS uses web cameras, it decided to turn on the microphone and utilize it. Got echo. So that means I have not eliminated it properly. I thought I killed you. Yeah. I need to put it. Maybe I need to put it some. Okay. Is there an echo now? Or are we still going? So it's either that or it is OBS Ninja. Yeah. Okay. Try this. Still an echo? Test, test, test. Is there an echo? Yeah. So the camera is still pushing out the audio and I'm not able to eliminate it. So why is your microphone on when I don't want it to be on? I just told you to send the audio elsewhere. I wonder. Fly that. Does that make any difference? Definitely a little, so it's killed it a bit. But I've managed to distort it. It means that I need to look into OBS camera grabs and try and make sure I can get it set to no audio. I don't know why it wants to pull the webcam audio. I don't want the webcam audio. But that device, no, that device is technically online. I'm not using anything from my Alienware. Let's see if it's a bit out of the way. Or can I? I'm telling it to go to itself. Microphone being told to go output to itself. Does that make it go boo? I hope not. I doubt it though. Oh, if it's gone down a bit, that's... oh, what was that mic spike? I'll need to look into it a bit more. It's only a thing that's developed this past year though, because my old Kaio had a microphone built into it, and I hadn't an echo till about... Why did that light go out? No techno bugs today. Leave me alone, techno bugs. Yeah. I need to look into it more. No cat. Yeah. There's a common acronym that I read about most Twitch streamers. It's not a pro stream unless something goes wrong. Means the little echo that is seeming to be a little bit in the hard side to kill. Because I don't know why. Yeah, so it is definitely this microphone. Can I? Let me try something. Probably turn that on. Let's go to the Kaio. I don't know how the settings are different. Well, that's the thing is, there's no option to turn off in OBS. It's just 3 settings to push the audio somewhere. There's no way to actually turn it off, as in no longer used. And even the input on the mic, I've got it as a custom on the mixer, and I've told that to be muted. So it's like, it's not. No, that's the different one. That's not the Kaio. That's the OBS Ninja. I suppose there's one way to kill everything. I suppose the other option is the sound settings in Windows and just tell it that that's items disabled. Let's see, you're on that. Sound. Kaio. Inputs, super cool. Way too many inputs. Kaio, you allow this to be used? No. Change you. Camera's back on. It's been told not to use the microphone on it in the Windows settings, so hopefully it's not picking up anything anymore. Did that change anything? We just told Windows it's not allowed to use it in any form, shape or way, so in theory it should have stopped working. Nope, sounds good. Good. So at least the Microsoft setting went, yeah, you're not allowed to use that microphone anymore. Cool. So in OBS there was no setting to stop it using this mic for some reason. I don't know why. Right. Actually, a few versions behind in OBS, so it could be in a newer version of OBS. I just don't have that version because last time I had it updated, it broke the stream completely. So it does. But anyway, let's build this dude. And a bit more light. Thanks you for helping out there, Wolf. So, this is a Redemptor Dreadnought, so it's bigger than the old classic Dreadnoughts. Only one for each. Where's the other one? Where is the other side? You might hear my cat in the background. A little bit. If she's going to pester me for the next 3-ish hours for food when she's not due food for 3 hours. Where are you? Hello. So, yeah, with the advent of Tempest just being dropped in pre-order, I was in Games Workshop, one of their stores, to play a big game of 9 for basically a farewell game to say, at least I played the game and had fun as a big fun last game ordeal. And it was fun, it was a laugh. I didn't follow all the rules because it was a fun game. It was meant to be chaos and hilarity, and that was achieved at the end of the day. So it was good times. It was basically 7v7 with about 1,000 points each, so it was a 7,000 point game. Comes with its own hilarity when you get a game that size, and then you got to add the added fact of basically herding cats. At the end of the day, is you've got 14 people, you're trying to make sure they get the turns at least going in some sensible order. Number 7. Number 9. Sure. So for the cleanup of my miniatures, I tend not to go after every single mold line and such things, because that to me gets very tedious very quickly, and you can also make a mistake. So some of the mold lines are left. Once it's painted, generally you don't notice them unless you're really looking closely, and sometimes with a magnifying glass. That cable. I have built one of these before. When Undomathus came out, I think there was one in that set. The set's a bit better to build over the years. I've been actually collecting and playing and building Warhammer 40k since 1996. I've seen every edition since second come and go. So I have. It was a good time when a new edition comes out. You see some folk come out of the woodwork you haven't seen in years because they haven't played or got bored or they felt the game got stale. You also got those who don't like playing against people who play a lot more meta-ish. Even like in a friendly setting, like, oh, we're just going to have a casual game in the store. And there was some folk being very nitpicky about the rules even yesterday. It's like, dude, it's meant to be a big game where some rules you just don't enforce. Chill out, have fun. And that was the whole point of the game. Especially big games, it's hard to keep every single rule in place and the game to flow well, because some rules just break it. I wouldn't say it breaks the immersion, it just breaks the flow of the game at the time. There's a time and place to be a rule lawyer, basically, and that's in tournaments, where it could mean the difference between a winner or a loss in your positioning and whatever standing you're in. That's when it makes a difference. But for a casual game, some rules can just be flung out the window. It was the odd time I was thinking that I've done it where a certain rule should have applied, and I'm like, you know what? Doesn't matter. It's not going to make a great deal of an impact to anything, and just let the game play. But I play for fun, mainly. I've done a tournament once before. No, twice before actually. Never got too high. I'm not that competitive. My lists are not pretty for tournaments. But apparently there's a new edition of 4K aligns with my way of playing the game anyway. I try not to do power builds or meta builds of armies. I just tend to play what's fun. Like yesterday I had just pure mech build. Not normally allowed by the rules, but that rule had been flung out the window for the game. So I just went Tau and went, I'm going big stompy robots. Nothing wrong with some big stompy robots bouncing about the battlefield. Some of the other side were a bit worried about the sheer firepower they can apply, but they applied equal, and in one case more than what I could output, and killed one of them in 2 turns. It literally did nothing because of that. So they were a bit worried. They had actually the anti-tank to deal with it, so it's like, what were you worried about? I like to have eccentric builds, or general builds. So I do. I've slots of over a few bits. It's always nice to dry fit just to make sure it will fit in more or less well. Power plant on. Yeah, the new editions always have a way of bringing some folk back to say, is it as bad as I remember it to be? To be honest, for the past 3 or 4 years, I haven't been playing as much as I used to. The past years, being more specifically, I moved away from my local Games Workshop, so it's a bit further travel to get to it. That's where I mainly played my games. But there was a point where I just felt burnt out. And it was the first I'd felt burnt out of this hobby. And the whole time I've been playing the hobby, so it's like, But since then I've been trying to make sure, like streaming wise, use the stream to help me keep building and at least start getting into painting more, because painting is the one thing I don't do enough of. Some of the amount of troops I've got. Like, see some of my previous painting stuff, go to my Insta. That command should still work. It does. And let's see some of the stuff I've painted previously. Some of it's not Warhammer related. Some of it's actually 3D prints I've printed off. And some of it is fantasy or just other game systems. Got a few other bits and bobs lying about. Like I painted up a load of Nickelodeon models one year because I got a game from Kickstarter. So that they were fun to paint. Some old childhood classics from Nickelodeon cartoon programs I used to watch as a kid. And partly adult because some of them were still fun. Sometimes when TV is bad, you just watch whatever's on. Yeah, the one thing I was hoping to find where I'm currently staying is maybe a local group that plays, but it doesn't seem there's one there. If there's one, it's going to be more a private group that might not have any. I wouldn't say advertisement out there. I don't know, maybe there maybe a word of mouth group running around, but yeah, finding others. But to be honest, one of the guys I know who plays Warhammer, he does an annual game which is due at the end of July. So that's what I'm waiting for. That's going to be my next big game. Actually, probably if I don't get another game of Warhammer before it, it's going to be my first game in 10th edition. Which would be somewhat more interesting. I used to live in a flat as well, so I didn't have the space to like invite people over. But now I'm in I've got a house, I've got enough space I could maybe set up a small table to play now. But all the folk I would play against live far away now. So it's like, huh. At one moment where I've got the space to play a game in my own house, I've got terrain, I've got battle mats I've got from like the Imperium magazine, and yet all those types of friends are now 40 to a good 40-minute drive away. It's like but then again, it was down to house prices at the end of the day. We couldn't buy a place in my local town at the time. This was a decent price, still within a decent range as well for commuting and stuff like that. It's like that, it's like for family and friends, because I don't drive, I do, so you might be able to move. It's sick. That might snap there. Yeah. And the joyous thing of being my age, you don't meet many 40-year-olds, because I'm 42, you don't meet many 40-year-olds that are into Warhammer. No, you do. So it's like, Don't want to hit that demographic where I look like the creepy old guy that's inviting kids to his house to play Warhammer. That's a bad sentence to even say out loud. There's something wrong with this, and I don't know if my... Have you actually said nope, you're the warsuit. It's a different model. I'm trying to close, and it's being difficult. Yeah, so there. If I glue it the way it looks like it's going to glue, it's going to be stuck open without ripping parts of the plastic apart. But it's going to be in the way as well. If I don't do that. That's going to close there. That's overclosed, so yeah. So it's meant to only go a certain distance. It's set you there long enough to glue you together. Yay, that's always fun. This is the fun bit where you're trying to make sure that the moving part keeps moving until it's finished. So, Wolf, did you pre-order the Leviathan box, or are you just going to wait till after it's out to worry about stuff like that? Yeah. It was surprising to see it was still pre-orderable even this morning. So that just now. Yeah, we're probably going to be in the way. Mm-hmm. I generally try to bring all my armies into the new edition, which is kind of costly. Well, not overly. It's just the well, this edition not need to worry about its codexes as much straight away. Again, like is it seventh? Helps a little because everyone's just going to be running off the data cards, so that's kind of going to be helpful for a while. Because the only 40k armies I don't have physical forces for are Chaos and Orcs. I have a little bit of Sisters, some Custodes, and I've got armies from more or less every other faction out there. Yeah, I've got a problem. It's the only way to put it. And I haven't played Fantasy for a long time, so I haven't really been keeping up with that. So my pile of shame is a huge pile. That's why I try to build and paint on stream, just so I've got a way of getting through the pile a bit. So you just need a tight fit, aren't you? You're going to be a relatively tight fit. And here it pops. That and I can't rotate this as much or as well. And it's going to be in the way for that. So sound too low then? Personally, I stick to my own personal chapter, and that way I don't have to worry about picking a new one. Ordo Darkstar is my chapter. That's what they're called. Although for the Marine specifically from that box, I am thinking of maybe doing it as a secondary custom chapter that is aligned with my chapter. It's more I done recently a paint scheme for a streamer friend who had knights that he wanted painted up, so I offered to paint them up for him. That's just staying off because I'm closing the hatch anyway, so it's just getting in the way now. I can put that one away. So I'm going to maybe paint them up his chapter colours. Model that's now. Because my chapter looks like this. It's a very dark theme armor. So it is. I always like the classic, very proper red bolt gun, personally. Um, but his is more of a green colour, Caliban green, the primary colour for the armour itself. I'm not 100% committed on the idea yet. Still mulling it over. I have 2 weeks to sort that out before I've got the models. I'm going to try and do, whatever I commit to, I want to try and build and paint that box. Hopefully within a month. Yeah, that's maybe a feat. Well, at least the marine side of it, not the Ned side. The Ned side, I don't know what high fleet colours. I haven't ever really figured out what colours I definitely want for a high fleet. So I think I was mainly still thinking of going purple bodies with red armour plates. I like dark reds, dark purples, so it kind of features in most of my colour schemes. So um, like Genuine Vision says, that's my traditional colours in essence. I'm only looking for a part. Bit big enough for that. That's good. Yeah, it's a horde army. Like orcs, it's a horde, but I think Nids have more flavour than orcs. Personally, I don't mind the Nids as much as I like the Nids nicer, better than what orcs are. Um, at times I do kind of enjoy the silliness around orcs, but sometimes that silliness just gets taken way too daftly at times sometimes as well. So it's like the comic force of the 40k universe at times. Um, so the only orcs I've really painted are dead ones. So like I will be eventually painting up this guy, the Empress Champion killing orc. He'll be a purple skin. Whenever I do orcs that I have to paint, they're always purple. So they are. Same with I got a miniature of one of the Adari and Tau. Yeah, both of those are good armies. I've got both of them as well. Um, my Eldari forces have always been I've never done one craft world because no, unless a major conflict, no Eldar force is going to commit all their forces. They're going to ask for help so they don't lose too much of their standing army, I find. So like all my Guardian squads were different craft worlds. My vehicles were mainly Samhan because they would have the most vehicles to be able to get out. The pilot might not specifically be from that craft world, but the vehicle might be, most likely. Stuff like that. And folk were like, well, why don't you go one craft world? It's like, well, craft world's not going to commit all its forces to one fight. They're going to try and make sure they don't unless they absolutely have to. So I was never really worried about the extra Kafir rules for some of them. Overall, just the extra flavour. But I'm thinking I might trash that idea and go for a custom colour scheme for my Eldar. Overall, just so it gets away from all of them and I can just pick whatever faction they need the rules from. Okay, I hear you. You're also being annoying. Okay. But that's just my way of dealing with it, personally. Tau, on the other hand, I'm not Farsight Enclave fully, but I agree with not running it with Nephro too much. One of those units I find that are near useless. I only take it when I have to have an extra HQ. Yeah, for the aspect warriors, yeah, they're their shrine. Because they wouldn't adopt their, because the shrine warriors, as far as I remember, some of the older lore, I don't know if it was mentioned in the newer one, is they move about crafters. They don't always stay in the same crafter, so that's why they don't have crafter colors anymore. There's another reason why they have the shrine colors more, because they're basically going about and fighting where need be. But I might be misremembering that. Remembering. It's a proper word. Oh, nice. That must have looked nice. And being Tron as well. Yeah, I can see it. If the undersuits weren't so ruffled, they would be identical to the kind of Tron-esque of Tron Legacy, where it was the sleek lines, proper armor panels, and then the lights through it. See, the only reason most folk take Ethereals these days are for the rules that they can extra boost something, and that's the only reason they took them. And it's a lot of the same, because my custom character, as I say, is called Order of Darkstar, but they don't just fight as themselves. They fight with Xenos, which obviously gets inquisitorial bad points. But I have kind of got a thought of nice. A blind blue. Yeah, still look cool instead of the glow effect, but yeah, it still would look awesome. Um, but my chapter works with other armies like Tau, Eldar, even Necrons. Well, not seen often with the Necron side of the things, but to be honest, that's the one thing. Tau have something that the Imperium doesn't have anymore: innovation. And for the Imperium to survive, they're going to have to ally with someone at some point, and they have no brownie points with anybody. So I see it as that my forces will go after targets that, with the help of other factions, if need be, and they won't attack certain factions at certain races unless absolutely necessary. So they won't like engage in Eldar for the sake of engaging Eldar. But obviously the game's designed for all. Yeah, it's more a design choice to keep the war going. But there's nothing saying I can't have a personal story in this, especially if the fact you can do custom chapters. And if there is a truth to the rumor I heard that apparently playing like cross factions was going to be easier, so like taking a more uh, mixed forces rather than all Space Marines or all Guard, will be interesting as well. Because in one of the big games I played a few years ago, I managed to deploy 9 Basilisk tanks with a troop choices from Space Marines to protect them. They did need that protection, by the way. I haven't deep strike the Basilisks because I was killing everything at near maximum range. This table was a long table, to be honest. And I was like, I'm the only person in range first turn. Basilisk, fire. Let's rip a Titan down in 2 turns. Yeah, the story actually moving is quite good now because there is now room for stuff to happen. Whether or not it's good or bad is going to be the problem. um, it would be nice if they did again the same kind of big campaigns where you could maybe change the story a bit, but it's getting the correct amount of engage on. It's not the correct amount of engagement; it's the correct amount of honest engagement is the only thing. Because I think some of the once some of the summer campaigns, like where they let folk enter their results via website, I think helped skew the numbers. Yeah, the problem was there's nothing in an army that can help against basilisks shooting at long range at a Titan the first turn. All it is your deep strikers, that's their target, but I had the forces ready to stop the basilisks getting taken quickly. That's why I didn't want to take a guard infantry units, because it's like I want a mixed force, so it was a quisitation force, and it was just a simple case of come at me, and they tried hard. I had to I got told by the guy controlling the game to don't fire for a turn. I'll tell you when to fire the basilisks again, because you're just ripping them apart. They're not enjoying the game. It's like, well, you told me to gear for long range. I went for long range. So it was one of those moments. So I geared myself for the correct type of fight. And the thing is, I pre-warned the guys like, "This is what I'm this is what I'm taking." He's like, "Ah," and he goes like, "That's fine." I think he didn't realise how devastating they were because, to be honest, in a normal 40k game, people rarely take basilisks because yes, they're decent firepower, but you can for the firepower you get out of that for the cost of points, you can get a Russ, which has more maneuverability, and as it gets closer, you could have metal weapons on it, so it can become more anti-tank. So it's like picking and choosing what to take. It's like for a short range game, there's no point taking a basilisk, to be honest. Unless it's a special narrative game, then there's more point to it. But a lot of folk won't take them because that's where Russia's and maybe even Griffin tanks. I don't even know if they're going to be in the new edition, to be honest. Where they are designed for short range and to deal with things at short range. It's like that game yesterday. I was tempted to ask the store owner if I could break the points limit for fun. I was going to ask if I could take the Warhound Titan, which is 2,000 points, so double the points were meant to be taken. But the rules for void shields in the current edition are a bit on the nasty side. So if they didn't have any decent anti-tank, and I think they might have been able to deal with it, those void shields are never coming down, and I'll be churning out a ton of shots per turn that would just decimate them. So it's like, yeah, that's a bad idea. Each unit has its place, to be honest. It's like in Tau, to be honest, I don't have any Vespin units because I've never seen the true use of the unit, so I've never bought them for that reason. But Kroot I took because they were a good interference unit to get. They're not high combat ability, but they get better combat ability than a Tower Fire Warrior, so I'd always get them in the way of charging troops. And folk always ask me, so why do you take them? So, well, the Tower Fire Warriors aren't great in combat, the Kroot are. So if they don't get in the way of the charge, they're going to countercharge you and do the damage to get the fire wars out for them to apply their long range firepower again. So Tau army is a shooty army. You have to play it as such, but they have units to help with the close combatness. At the end of the day, flaky flake. And these aren't going to move much once that's. It's like Space Marines. There's plenty of units in there that some folk never really play because they don't like the idea of them or they just don't fit the theme. And albeit to them. To be honest, I don't really run Liberians much my Space Marine armies. That's just me. Those plates on. Except for the top thing. And part of the old reason why I never collected Chaos was because they were just spiky Space Marines. There was no flavour, no fluff, other than the defective, and apart from the odd gear choice, they were identical to a normal Space Marine. Obviously now it's a lot different with thinking at least the last 10 years they've got more and more flavour. But I'm not tempted to play Chaos, to be honest. I'm evil, but not that evil. I think the new edition is probably going to be quite fun. Although seeing all the arguments on Facebook and certain groups where they're saying about certain things, it's like, it's just chill out and wait till it gets here. A lot of folk are still moaning they haven't the points for the two armies that released data sheets for, and it's like, well, they weren't going to release them straight away. In essence, they not really want you to. You've got the rules, but without points and power levels, if they're doing both again or not, you can't really play a test match well. So that's what they're trying to do just now. In a way, is stop you playing it properly till it's fully released. There's some folk moaning it's meant to be simpler. It said a simplification, but not simple. So it means they're refining the edition. They're not making it, this is Warhammer 40k for stupid people. Or for dummies. But then again, a lot of folk online just want more. You can find plenty of people that would like to moan about anything. Even if they're giving it for free. We're over this side now. I haven't played all weapons in my last one. I really should have, because either storm bolters or frag storm grenades, and both are semi decent. Although I do like the amount of posts just now that folk point out that scalpers have been unscalped because they never ran out of pre-orders. Well, at least in the UK, they didn't, or Europe region. Some folk were trying to resell the box at £500, £400, £500, £600, £700. Oh wait, it's actually went out of stock. It finally went out of stock today. So the Leviathan box set looks like it's out of stock now on the main Games Workshop site. It took a day to do that. So maybe some of the scalpers might get some money now, but a lot more folk would have got the edition before going to scalpers. So it's actually quite good they had enough to do the initial. I don't need you to move, so let me blow you. Compared to the Indomitus, at least it was better. What? What cat? What? What? It's too early. You've got water, you've got dry food, you're not due your wet food till 6. Which is just over 2 hours away. So chill, cat. Yeah. So some of the scalpers might actually make a little money now, but they'll have less people to target. Because all those who desperately wanted it have bought it now. All those who are like, I might get it, might have bought it by now. So now they're beholden by those who want a specific model that isn't out straight away from the box. Which some of the sites that obviously bought it are bit sites, so they could maybe get them through the bit sites. So so where are you? One slot for one choice. Let's just remember something. I haven't checked that one in a while. That's the works. Okay. Yeah. That's one thing about having a site that kind of pulls data from Instagram. I hadn't checked that it was still working recently, so I was like, I better check that it works. Yeah. We're looking for 79. 79. That's what part you are. It's also funny the lore about these Redemptor dreadnoughts. Unlike standard dreadnoughts, they actually burn out their pilot because they're more powerful, more brutal. So unlike the box knots, there's a chance one of these won't live several thousand years like Bjorn the Fell-Handed of the Space Wolves. I think it's still technically the oldest dreadnought in existence. I see not with the blue that. No, it doesn't actually. But in what? Phoenix. a different class, so Dreadnought and Leviathan box as well, so that'll be interesting to see his and their lore a bit, see what that class came from. What's the chances we found a new STC? Am I kidding? That's the only way we're getting new things just now. Apart from this call, who's got his hands on it. But then again, that's where the redemption of Dreadnought comes from, is from Call's work, so as far as I'm aware, so it'd be nice to see where the technology came from a different classification of Dreadnought. Actually, not in New York. Hold on. Done. That big. Which cockpit cover do I want? I can't remember which some other one. I don't know where he is to check. Actually, well, he would be over there. Actually, in the box under my desk. These guys are good. One of these. Oop. I free the old Citadel hobby boxes full of stuff. Another thing they don't sell anymore. These big boxes. Hold on. Nice one. The projects. Some of them are very old. Yeah, I found a pair of Dreadnought legs. Does that mean Dreadnought body? Yes, it does. There you are. That's where you went. Yeah, I do have another one. But he had the standard body. Also, Riptide parts, I was wondering where the hell were. No, sorry, Storm Surge parts that I did. And I did put a magnet on this one. So, that means... Also, remember what I did to that specific power fist. I might try to do that again. I did have the scrolly writing on it. The scrolly writing. So the other one has that cockpit cover. I'll give him this one because one would be potentially more decorated when you have more than one. With this front. And I did magnetize the guns in the other one. And I don't see the point of this being able to open either, so even if someone will say, well, but you can't paint under there, it's like, there's no point painting under there if it's never able to open. Under. Oh. That will well be fully closed. We can get you on now, properly. You'll never move again. Slams over there. That's for someone Imperial Knights at yesterday game. On the top of the Knights there's a canopy cover for where the pilot goes on, well, the kit's newer kit anyway, so it's got the pilot under there. He didn't want to put that on there because it had his pilot he painted, and it's like, could have had it held open And he went, nah. I was like, it's your choice at the end of the day, dude. It's the only thing I can say to that. Closed. And you can be glued on in, but I'm just nice. No need to keep you separate, to be honest. Think about it. Apart from maybe losing a part. So that's the main core ready. We have a pilot, we have a sarcophagus ready. Bam, bam, bam. I do like this new camera. The camera I'm using just now is a newer version of the Razer Kaio, and it's 4K quality, so the quality you've seen is probably quite well. Although I downscaled to 1K, 1080p for the stream, so yeah, should look still decent. So you can see here, body of a knot. Okay, time to put your hips together, it seems. Let's roll that through. We are probably between those two screws. There you are. We have hips. Do. That's it. What? Little far. What do you know, Ryan? So we 59. These were the dates the three last time. I remember these. Part 56. I'm gonna do 56. Okay, that's fine. Oh, I remember why I magnetised. I've just seen the bit. We don't have a second bit of it. Oh, we do now! Ooh, they changed it through. They must have got enough complaints. I'll say more about that once I get to the weapons parts. So well. The only reason I magnetised the previous one I built this. That's sort of new. Oh yeah, this is meant to rotate a little. Oh yeah, that's always fun. What's your other half? 57 units on this group. don't know if that's thunder I hear in the distance or not. There is a thunderstorm warning for the day. That's the same for most of the UK just now. Feels like it actually fits a little. I'm just no, it doesn't. I say it fits a lot better. Not quite. I'm not going to be doing anything fancy leg work anyway, so. Let me do that script in a moment. Okay, well, have a good day. In case I'm not here when you come back. Grocery store visits. Always either quick or long. Find. Also if the wife's there. Stick out. You get a little wood. That's still got a bad rotation in there. Nice to not look like there. Dum 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 dum. Here's the mini building. Leaning forward too much. Straining the neck and back a bit. None of the parts that are on that one. So this one I think. Leggy legs. So that's 62. That's 61. Where is 60? Oop. Oh, it's 2 and 2. Oh, that's a 2-part. It doesn't say not to glue there. Or drive bit before gluing. We're going to do the symbol for not gluing because you're going to glue it eventually. So yeah, your pose is not going to be fancy as per normal. It doesn't make Yeah, there's only two poses, so I don't know why it's saying don't blue. That step does not make itself too clear. The variation is not this one. Ow. Actually, I need to change that. I'm going to find double shade. Again. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba. Ba-da-ba. Meow. Cat, you're too early. I need to put the production. So, I need to go on a brief break. That part went, but landed on my leg. Didn't actually have enough force to go further, but I hadn't cleaned that part up. That's the other thing I found that was not sold anymore by Games Workshop was this kind of mat. So that one's starting to look a bit. It's still got some life in it, so it's going to be it's going to be well worn by the time I replace it with anything else, basically. Yeah, there's not a lot of variation to this. So in the last time I built the fist for this type of dreadnought, I tried to get him to make sure he was doing the middle finger a little bit. If you hold his hand a certain way. I might try to do that again. Like, I would just. What are you? Stepping away from that fan, that area of my desk that's got the fan blowing across it, it's like suddenly hit with more heat. Outdoor temperature 27 degrees. Outdoor temperature 27 degrees. Yeah, no reprieve today again. At least for probably a few hours. Yeah. Which is on the lower legs. So these parts don't really matter. It's the upper part that matters. Should actually check the legs of the other one. Well, I know where he is now. So I can check his legs, see which leg pose it is, and put this the alternative. Meow. 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 No kitty. Not much movement in that nonsense. So. Obviously, you can cut the tab and play about with after that, but then you need to cut them as well. So I'm not in the position. I don't want custom leg positions in that way. Not yet. If I get a third one, then maybe it might be considered then. Hit you. Annoys you more. Yeah. My cat's afraid of compressed air cans. Check this guy's legs in this box. So this one, my original ones, is that way right. Leaving him came out for even to magnetise his waist so I can move him about. But let's do go afterwards. I'm just saying honor guard everywhere. Yeah, the pointy. He has pointy bits. I hate bare feet. This is going to hurt. Nope, I found out before it hurt. Back to this guy. So he's stomping that way. And is that leg? Yeah. That is that leg. So I went up on the other side of this thing. Just so this alternative. Not, to be honest, you would notice much.
A sacred social pact, something you cannot undo.
Infinite amount of connection, but
Kills forms a moving crew. If I do not help you move, then you won't help me move.
Okay, so you're moving. You're relaxing, so you're doing this. There. Nothing, that's fine. Sorry, that's been a bit squirrely. Hmm. Things are getting slowed down. Need it all options a bit, switch boost 1555. Keep the guy booty. It's not dread, not a booty. So, if I might do that again where I just magnetise the waist again, which is easy enough done. I've done it before, I can do it again. Oh, just straighten that one. I don't think I can get it off in that one. If I can get this off this base, I'll be happier because I do 3D printed base on my dreadnoughts now. So, we can break. Oh, ha 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 ha! And stick it in that solid. Right? Got it. So I put it on that base like this. So I do. The fanciness. Although, because the feet are shaped, they might only go on. Sorry, it doesn't. It sounds not too bad, that makes. But there's other bases that it doesn't need to be specifically those ones. So now you're loose. I need your upper leg plates and sort of feet. And sort of arms. But I'm going to briefly go BRB because I need to do something. So we'll be back shortly. The music should keep good company.
asunder. Fear that breaks the brave will not drag me under. Climb out of the grave. Make a sign or faults divine. This mark of worth I wear. Hardened are these fateful scars I bear. Stand side by side, carry all as one. We can bear this weight. Stand side by side, we won't come undone. For the hands that will carry us home are touched by fate. Hold on to what you strive for. Hold on to what you fight for. Get up and fight. Through the fatal leafy shade of scorching desert sands, lift the people from their pain, unite and take a stand. Reach into the future, reach into the fade. Stamp out the abuser, stop that bloody blade. Maker's breath or wind of death, it matters not to me. Be it one or none or synergy. Stand side by side, carry all as one. We can bear this weight. Stand side by side, we won't come undone. For the hands that will carry us home are touched by fate. Hold on to what you strive for. Hold on to what you fight for.
Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that's right. Where are we? 66 and 100. 66 and 100. Well, I don't do 65s. Need to get the discs in. Too warm, too warm, too warm, too warm, too warm. Da, 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 da. Dude, tell me how to build that. Oh, it's one feet that's built already, so it's that thing. Da, 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 da. Yeah, well, good. I don't know. Yeah. Not pushing that one. It took it back, but 2006. That's it. Ow. Yes, that's always a good idea. Put arm on thing that can stab you. It's a good idea. Please. What am I looking for? 20, 26. Okay, 26. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's not a lot. So there's a lot of movement in this, but there isn't that need for that amount of movement. Not at all. Must have been that one. A lot, to be honest. This can go all the way up to there, which is too tall. Let's see. I think what I did last, we got this foot on. And glued it in place. So that for this one was tipped one. That is the plan. There you go. Yeah. Hey, Ellie. That's already. That's a bit more tilted this time. But, still a bit melted. Bit sad. How are you? Yeah, all the way up in speed. No, I've still got one more speed level. Oh, the fan speed! Nope, you don't even hear that. Oh. So those legs go up there. Wait, can we dead? You need to finish these ones off, which means I need those last two parts, which are 27 and 29. Using that TikTok backwards. Yeah. Another one. Okay. Let's see somewhere. It should be just here. Yeah, that's it. That is it. So that is all the legs. And we have a body. So we're doing good there. We've got something that can move and be piloted. But what we lack is that. So the one thing I have noticed is different about this spruce since the last thing I built it is the fact there's two 68s now. Now, the original kit I got only had one. Now, if you look at the numbers, well, let's zoom in. So these numbers are a lot more. They're not as refined as these ones. That's nice, fine writing. This is like an addition. So they've given us two part 68s, so you can have both weapons and friction fit them. So you can swap in and out easily. The original kit gave you the original one I built, and 1 or 2 years ago now. I can't remember when I built my last one. Only gave you one of them, so you had to choose. So it's like I don't know why I choose. Magnets was my choice. So that's why my other one's magnetized on the gun arm, because I wanted to be able to change it. Some weapon systems is not worth magnetizing, especially if there's not a lot of difference between weapons. So you can still go, well, I want to use the alternative weapon to this game. Whereas on something that's quite obviously between the macroplasma incinerator or the heavy onslaught, it's like there is not a slight difference. It's like black and white. There's no comparison in them. in that sense. So it is good they've addressed that. Because everyone was addressing it anyway. This heat is slightly unknown. But the joys of being stuck at 27 degrees in a house that's not really made to survive 27 degrees. Weather is, well, yeah. Interesting. But bye bye. So let's get this on. Arms time. 44, 45 is on this through. Might get 2S in that part. Let's go sort of. Another one is still a bit loose at this point. Oh, I need to get part 48 in without getting glue everywhere. Where is part 48? There. Not a lot of movement, but some. Okay. Meow. Too soon, cat. That's no. I need the fist. The fist is coming. Dun dun dun. Dun, dun. Do, do, do. But eight, but B. Let's double check this. No, but 22. Where is 21? 21, calling 21. See? That's the fingers. Twenty-one is on the screen. Ta-ta-ta. Let's spin a little bit. My eyes, they glare. My head's not that fucking shiny, Radiosu. Also, Radiosu, have you checked the GW site recently? It looks like the friendly Leviathan boxes are now all gone. At least the online copies. Unless it's changed again. Yeah, no longer available online. So it took over a day. Yeah, I noticed the queue. I went to go to double check something because I might have found an adequate Riptide shield replacement part, and I wanted to look at the true picture of it, but at the time the US was winding up for their release, and I'm like, that's why I'm caught in a queue, even though I'm not on the US site. I'm getting caught up in it and like, alright, I went like, I'll look. So I was like, oh, you blocked me. It was odd. Eventually, it did get me off the you will wait X amount of time and showed me the rest of the site later that night. But yeah, so it looks like Leviathan finally got to the point where the scalpels might be able to get some money, but their potential customers is a very small pool now compared to if it went and sold out a lot faster yesterday. So I'm kind of happy that way. Kind of happy for people feeling me. Right. You said do not glue. I did not glue, but you do not rotate either. And I've managed to snap that off. That's how tight that fit is. Like, do not glue. It's meant to rotate. The fit's that tight. It went, nope, I'm not even moving for you. Okay. Still need to be glued down anyway, so. Need to wait for most of the joints to be more gluified. Or attempt to rotate that fist that doesn't want to rotate. How are you today, Radio Sir? Slow broiled? I have the joys of 27 degrees. I know you're going to say that, rotate the marker. Yeah. The house isn't keeping is doing the house is doing its job. It's retaining the heat at the wrong fucking time of the year. And then again, it's roughly about 25, 26 degrees outside, so not much to stop it being this fucking long. Also, Radiosa, they did rectify something on this sprue. When I originally got my first version of this Dreadnought, it only had one of the number 68s. It now has two, so no longer need to magnetize the weapons. So it's like, hey, that's a good change. They may have heard their customers moaning about it. They gave us the option to basically change the weapon over for convenience, and then didn't give us enough parts to do it. It's like, really, GW, really? Yep, I just tried to rotate that again and it did not work. I just instantly ripped that out. This one might need to be glued in place. Yeah. Because actually, wake up. Wait a moment. I want to see its fist. I don't think I cut any parts. Last thing. So there's the other one. remember if he was in the Adomitus box or in someone else. But I kind of tried to make. Yeah, I didn't cut anything. He's giving you the finger. On my last built one, so I can actually twist it around just enough to go. Screw you guys! I'm going home. I even magnetized those guns when they really shouldn't have. As you can see, there's my magnet for that. Doing that lower door on this one's new torso was harder for some reason. There wasn't this clearance somehow. But I think I'll end up blowing this one shut as well. Don't know why I kept that movable. Okay. What gun did I put? Oh, and he's on full off. I did not put his gun on. See, this one's been a bit more picky. It might actually be a bit more. I might just glue it in place. So it's not going anymore. There is. There's that. Let's get that one with me just in case I break it, jeez. Clunk clunk. The thing is, that fit is too tight to rotate. So I'm just going to place it in the position I want it to be now. Save. He will be forever giving everyone the finger. He's going to be stuck in that pose. Not that most folks see it unless you actually follow it around for it. Glue. So that's that. Here comes the fingers. Fingers, 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 fingers. I don't know why I didn't leave the little onslaught Gatling cannon as it, 'cause I rarely choose flamers. I got a ping. What is that kind of ping? Go away, ping. So which one's the thumb? The thumb is number 24. Oh. Well, I think I did cut them a little bit. Just they wouldn't rotate far enough around, I think. Yeah. So I thought I was looking at them thinking, I don't remember cutting those fingers. I think I did, and it was just the keying, just that the keying wasn't locking it as well in place. So I could do the little finger gesture. That is a funky magnet in the middle. I think I did the little fingers first. So I've got them all the way as far back as possible. So you sit here. Ten is the middle finger, so 11 and 12 will do. So 11. Flashers. Rare sight. And GW spruce. Alright. You haven't clicked in properly. You've not clicked in properly. There we go. Yeah, don't go far back. I just bounced my head off my camera. Did not bounce, move it too much. Bounce. Yeah, as far back as it could go. It's fine. That's exactly where that was going. Okay. Well. Pardon? Do. It would appear. This is not. Where's my face? No, it should do. So that means you can go anyway. Oh. Well, he's kind of going Mamma Mia just now. He's been very Italian just now. Just not. Nothing with his hands. Actually, so did you get much thunder and lightning yesterday? Because there was some spots up here last night, close to when Lisa got home from work, which was about 10 o'clock-ish. But never amounted to much. And the forecast for day warns for thunderbolts of lightning, very, very frightening. Without having to basically dissect each finger and curl them over better, that does for the general premise. Boop. Sir, I think we have a match. Screw you twice! That's that. Oh, sorry there. Ooh, squelchy nice. So now this can go. That's a tight fit. What have you done, GW? I should plug in then rotate. Holy hell, the tolerance in this is out. But there we go. So like this one, that arm swings quite freely. That one's like, yeah, the tolerances are a bit tight. Like effort. That's going to snap plastic. That's going to snap that plate off at some point. Yeah, you may actually be stuck like that now because that is not rotating well and there's no glue involved in that joint. And the part that went into there. Dear God. Then again, they went from kind of... No, that one wasn't really too tight, to be honest. But... That's went from... Yeah, okay, we've got a bit of movement to... Yeah, you might snap plastic rotate. Time. 5:15. Can't get famous for time. You can go there. So. We build small boom. One sort by Gatling. That's fine. It's getting this way. I'm not really bothered about changing over. If there's a need for a flamer, then there'll be a need for a flamer that day. If someone goes, but that doesn't look like a flamer, says, well, if you stand close enough to the barrel, there is flames. It just comes out with a projectile. At least for most games I play, there's not a high degree of WYSIWYGiness. Where is little part 17? Maybe not good. I'll see you. That's 36, that's 15. Yeah, I think I'm going past it 15. It's a mini bird gun. Problem is, because I've pre-positioned this. No, it's here. What I was going to miss a line that there, but I have not. I have not! The line is correct. The line is the god. Okay. Nope, not that way. Go in the hole! Lip helps. I don't know why I had to say that. He sticks his finger up your end point, looks down and goes, and then I go. Although, with the way that is there, it looks like he is doing Spider-Man. I'm doing my web shooter shot with a Gatling gun. But it's generally the middle fingers down, not the two other fingers down. But yeah, don't care. Macroplasma cannon. Or incinerator. Whatever the macroplasma incinerator, yeah. Big plasma weapon that goes boom. If you use it. I should have picked up more plastically yesterday when I was in the workshop. Let's split this back open because apparently that bit only goes in one way. Well, it's exposed. Means I don't really need much glue, so I'm going to go near it. There's a tight fridge. Let's go for this. Yes, it says that needs to move. What bits are those, mate? Or 42, 42. I lost the part to the floor. And it should be. Ba, ba, ba. Looking at that weapon again reminds me of the BFG from the Doom movie. Little. I have a little weapon that goes boom, boom, boom. Not that way. This thing's got a bloody BFG. Oh yeah, that's kind of the weapons that's carrying now are the personification of a big fucking gun. Meow. 30 minutes, cat. 30 minutes. Controller. What's the rate of fire of that thing? Yes. Ouch. Just sit there for a moment so I get this one. System. We have a million bits. Big ass ammo drum. Fuck. Wait, bounce. Bum 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 bum. Come on. But I don't see it. Not a major critical part, but it's still a part of it. Piece of resin. Yeah, I went for the proper yeetus deletus direction. Didn't get it high enough, so I kind of went too far. I'll probably end up stepping on it. You will think. That was just best less chance of part going eat.
Therefore, like it lost this battle thing. That was a bit of a problem. Again, performances seem to be a bit neat. Excuse you, you are tight. There's one bit that arm's still not there, which is the rest of the ammo feet. And a handle. Hey, it's generally like we handle it. It's like, oh, we, not canisters. Check that again a wee bit later. This is nearly done. What time are we at? Oh, nearly 3 hours in. Bit longer than I expected for this, to be honest. When it comes to building on a stream, it tends to be a bit slower than what it is when I'm actually focused on just building something off stream. There, and there. And get the last page, which is just basically building up the alarm. One thing about this new camera, my new camera, the Kyle got now, is it's more solid when it comes to movement. So if I nudge it slightly, that it's less likely to move, whereas the other one would go, I moved just like a bit, moved a bit more. I need to hide my slippers. I keep putting them on my feet. My feet get too warm. Cause my slippers live under my desk basically, and I keep putting them on, and it's roasting. My feet get too warm, then I take them off so they cool down, then I automatically put them back on again. It's like, dude, what is wrong with you? I think it's because of the whole winter. I've been so used to making sure they're on my feet because it's been right. It's not been too cold in this house, but we tend not to put the heating on too much. Also, energy bills. No. You have 20 minutes, which is enough time to finish this off. Probably will follow stream there. So well. That's very done. We're back hopefully properly on Tuesday with gaming, as well as the joys of simple affairs. So just focus on hobby for a spell. I have plenty to build, I have plenty to paint, although painting this heat's its own problem. It's a moving ball, but you do just the last 2 bits in the sprue. I'm trying to get some extra painting and drawing done. We're done. Don't yell me. You know the time to get fed, cat, so stick them. See? That's going to take a while to dry properly. Look at this. The last bit is to put that into the then the arm onto the bottom. And check that fits just now before. That is tight as hell. I don't know if it's the width. No, we know if it's the width when it went in as fit as well. It's the thickness of the plastic slightly. It's at the edge of tolerances basically. Is what one of my work colleagues would say. It was a computer system. Got that one unlocked. So it needs a wee bit of, and then because the chances of ripping this armor plate off are extremely high just now. So I'm not going to glue that on. I'm going to save that one and use that as a test for both. Woof! I may need to trim you down a bit. I feel the same in this one. What I need is probably to fill. It looks like this area is a bit more raised because the lines here. Yeah, it's the old one. Let's see what you look like. What's that? So you do have the slight raising, but you're not as tight a fit. You're like just spot on nice. Yeah, purple. So I like that one. I kind of like that one there. You just go, I can turn that way and shoot. Whereas the original fit, it would be like, yeah, I'm not forward. I need to turn my whole body. Oh, I'm thinking about it. This gets glued in before I finish. Yeah, that's all probably work well. But anyway, thanks for tuning in, whoever's still here. Thank you for giving up your time in this
depending on where you are, it's either a very warm or very cold Sunday. Yeah. So I'm going to do an easy raid. I'm going to raid into the joys that are Banley. She's playing the streamer weekend of 7 Days to Die. So yes. The official A21 release for 7 Days to Die is coming out tomorrow for everybody. It's just to give streamers a heads up, early access enough to give a little bit of look at all the new shit. And my communication to join me. Issue is the key's been leaked 2 or 3 times this weekend, so they've had to reset the key for that umpteen times now. So some folk have been spoiling the fun, as per normal when it comes to anything that's went exclusive slightly. I have looked at the forums and there's so many folk moaning that streamers shouldn't be getting this extra time. It's like, it's a showcase. It also highlights any specific bugs. So they may have folk actually monitoring going on. So is there any bug problems when we've got, instead of millions of people playing it, maybe several thousand to tens of thousands? So they go, right, these bugs popped up, we can start addressing these when we go to release it to everyone else. So they're already in the pipeline to be fixed within days, rather than maybe next Friday or later. But anyone anywhere on the internet will find some reason to moan about something, irrespectively of who they are or doing. So, explanation raid time. Do that. I got a little raid message, and I will set this right. Because once this display goes, I can't type in that chat. Start raid. So that's it starting. So as I say, I should be back Tuesday. I'm going to try and stick to my proper schedule, which is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Sundays. Again, sometimes I'm just not in the mood to stream at all due to headache or something else, or I'm just pissed off, and it's not good streaming when I'm pissed off at something, and it's not at you guys or anything like that. It's just in general something's pissed me off, and I'm not going to subject anyone to that mood. It doesn't need to be direct that. But I shall hopefully see you Tuesday, if not Wednesday, for I don't know if I'll just keep doing hobby streams for a while, just to do them for a bit, but I'll figure something out. I have time to sort it out. But I shall see you later. Have a good day. Bye.
I want to know, is